On both ends. Running that point spot right now for Minnesota and gets aggressive and finishes through traffic.
And we're getting a glimpse of
Serena, she waits, she sighs, dreaming of you. Serena, she waits, she cries, lonely for you. Moments pass like whispers said, lost in thoughts where love is spread. Serena, she'll stay, yearning for you. Oh, love, how can it be that time slips away? That we pay. Serena, she looks, she longs, hoping for you.
What up, y'all? This your boy Ace here. And welcome to Ace's Angels, y'all. Yo! Yo, bro. This is crazy. So the bad news came out today that Caitlin Clark is going to have her first serious injury since becoming a pro. She's got a left quad strain, I believe. I believe that's the injury that it is. I don't know if I think it was a left quad strain from what I read. It might just, I don't know what side it's on, but I think it's on the left side though. But it's a quad strain, and she's going to be out a minimum 2 weeks. Minimum 2 weeks. So she could be out longer than that. She's going to be out 2 weeks, y'all. And you gotta remember, Caitlin was already injured before this. She was just playing on it. She was already hurt before this. So really, Caitlin probably should have been sitting out this past week. I know it's the start of the season, but she probably should have been sitting out this past week. But either way it goes, reality gonna hit for a lot of motherfuckers. A lot of people about to get reality right now. And we're gonna go over that in this video. And I think that, and I'm telling you right now, this injury, it was necessary. And I'm going to tell you for a few different reasons why it needed to happen. Okay? So she's going to be out for 2 weeks. And it sucks because, you know, Caitlin Clark definitely moves the needle in the WNBA. You can't deny that. And there's a big game on the schedule in the next 2 weeks that she's not going to be a part of more than likely. And that's that Big Sky game at the United Center in Chicago. And that was going to be the first real primetime game on a Big 3 network in a long time in the WNBA. CBS was going to televise that game Saturday night, June 7th, in primetime, 7 o'clock. Or 8 o'clock Eastern time. It was going to be on in primetime. Ain't going to be no Caitlin Clark in that game. CBS probably is mad as hell, bro. CBS is probably like, oh, we went from probably getting 3 million people watching that game to maybe about 1. Ion had their first Fever game of the season on Friday when they when the Fever faced the Connecticut Sun. We got 2 Mystics games coming up. The Mystics have been the funnest team to watch in the WNBA this season so far. And if this leaks past the 2-week point, so if it's just 2 weeks, the game should be coming back against the Atlanta Dream game on June the 10th. And these are all Commissioner Cup games coming up, by the way. These are Commissioner Cup games coming up. There was an ABC game against the Liberty on June the 14th. Yeah, some big games was coming up. Big games was coming up, bro. And a lot of these teams are tough. I think the Sky are going to figure it out eventually. They started playing well yesterday. They still lost against Kelsey Plum and the Sparks. But I think the Sky are going to figure it out pretty soon. They're going to figure it out pretty soon. But, yeah, man, when I look at this, ooh, this is looking pretty bad. Don't sleep on the Connecticut Sun. I know they 0-4, but that team, they've lost some tough games, but I think they capable of beating the Fever. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting the next 2 weeks. And like I said, this needed to happen for a few different reasons. Let's before we get on the team and the coaching staff first, let's get on the fan base. The fan base, right? The fan base is a problem. And it's not all the Fever fans. No. It's the specific Caitlin Clark fans who keep making these idle threats that they only watch the WNBA for Caitlin. They don't care about nobody else. They don't care about none of Caitlin's teammates. They don't even care about Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hall. Those fans. We talking about those fans. The rest of y'all like the rest of the team. Y'all like Lexi, Sophie, Kelsey Mitchell, Aaliyah Boston, Lana Bonner, whoever else was on the team that y'all like, Tipson. Now I'm talking about y'all. I'm talking about those fans that some of them don't even watch the actual games. Too. They just want to, they look at the highlights, maybe look at the stat line, see what CC did, and then they want to hop on social media, and they want to brag and all this other stuff. Bro, I'm talking about those fans. Those fans going to get exposed in the next 2 weeks. Because if these ratings drop, then we know that the league isn't necessarily growing like they said it was and everything like that. And I think that's real bad. Because I think that, personally, I think that you could come into, like, most fans did come into the WNBA because of Kahleah. That's fine. No problem. A lot of fans did that back in the Michael Jordan days. They watched because of Michael Jordan, but they ended up watching the rest of the NBA, right? Fine. Same thing with Magic and Larry Bird back in the 80s. That's fine. If you started out watching because of one player, cool. That ain't no problem. That's not the issue. It's when that's the only motherfucker you want to watch. The only player you want to watch. When that's the only player that you want to watch, you don't want to watch nobody else like there ain't no other exciting players in the league. I'm having a lot of fun, personally, watching the Washington Mystics right now. Sonya Citron, fun as hell to watch right now. Kiki Erfin, fun to watch. Lucy Olsen, fun to watch. And a lot of y'all came from Iowa. Why you ain't support Lucy Olsen? See that when a lot of y'all be trying to get on these fans that be trying to tell y'all the truth about y'all lack of support for the rest of the league. This is what the hell they're talking about. You're not helping growing the game at all. You don't care about the young ladies out here either that want to become Caitlin Clark in the future, who started taking up basketball because of Caitlin Clark. You got no care for them. Some of these people are your damn daughters and nieces and shit, neighbors. Like, you don't care about the next generation coming up? Because Caitlin Clark ain't going to be playing forever. Caitlin Clark got a window of 10, 15 years in this league. You're not going to be able to watch Caitlin Clark forever, just like the rest of us didn't get a chance to see Jordan and Kobe and all the rest of our favorite players in the fucking league. You know, LeBron James not going to play forever. I know he's been playing for 20 years. He's an old man now. He's showing on signs that he's going to slow down, but you're not showing any, like you don't care about nobody else. Nobody else. Like, absolutely nobody else. Because y'all keep threatening, oh, we ain't watching for the next 2 weeks, then go on ahead, man. I might need you. Because one thing that I know is happening, women's basketball has grown, though. Because I see it in college. It has grown. There's a lot more fans. I've been watching the WNBA since 1997. I haven't seen this much hype behind certain players. Like, even the draft this past year had the second highest ratings of all time. We're still seeing a lot of the other games, even though they're not coming anywhere close to the Caitlin Clark games, numbers-wise, we're still seeing a lot of the other games still rating higher than they used to, like just even a few years ago. So we have seen some growth, but it's just not on the Caitlin Clark level. I'll never forget just last year, not just the playoffs and the finals that were high rated, but the regular season game between the Aces and Sky had like almost 2 million viewers on CBS on an early Sunday afternoon. It had like almost 2 million viewers. We got a lot to be thankful for when it comes to Caitlin Clark. Like, that's the other thing, though, that I don't like from those fans that try to make it seem like Caitlin Clark isn't the one that's growing the league. Like, that's a problem, too, those types of fans. It's on both sides. It ain't just that side. It's the other side, too. We need to all come into an agreement and say that Caitlin Clark is the rated driver. But we also, on the other side, we need to stop being so damn stubborn and acting like she's the only player in the league. because there's other exciting players in the league to watch. Other players that need your fan support. You know, it's not always about the type of style. Like, nobody else is going to be Kahleah Clark, right? Nobody else is going to play like that. We don't even see nobody playing like Steph Curry, right? In the NBA. We see a lot of good three-point shooters, but we're not seeing anybody like that was shooting at the level of Steph Curry, right? That's like once in a generation type player. But the thing is that there's all types of good players. There's all types of fun players to watch. All you have to do is just follow them, watch their games, and you could become a fan of anybody. You could become a fan of anybody for real, for real. I'll stand by this. I'm a fucking Grace Berger fan, and we're gonna get to them in a minute. I was a Grace Berger fan before I was a Kahleah Clark fan. I liked watching Grace Berger. Grace Berger's style of play, I think, is funner to watch than Kaitlin's, because Caitlin's not a one-dimensional player, but she makes her name off of threes. Grace Berger does everything at all three levels. You know what I'm saying? And Kahleah Clark, personally, she's not even in my top 5 favorite players. She's not even in my top 5. But I do like Kahleah. I do think her style is fun to watch. Right? She's shooting logo threes, and when they go in, you're still blown away no matter how many times you've seen them. She's a great passer. You know, she does a lot of fun things. And she has a great personality off the court. There's a lot of things I like about Kahleah. Right? Well, there's a lot of things I hate about Kahleah for other fan bases. You know, the racist pro-blacks, we know they exist. The leftists, the who don't like straight white women. You know. We know that. We know that. But I think these next 2 weeks, a lot of y'all gonna get exposed for not watching more than just Kahleah Clark. All right? And look, we got a fun Washington team coming 2 games in this stretch. We got a fun Washington team to watch. Why don't you take your time and watch Sonya Citron, Kiki, Lucy, and Jay Melbourne. Jay Melbourne is actually a very fun player to watch if you haven't seen Jay Melbourne yet. She's very fun to watch, and she's still young. So she fits right in the core with that team. But let's talk about the team aspect, because I want to start getting into the Grace Berger and Serena Sundell, so this video isn't too long. Let's start with the team aspect. Let's start with the clout chasers. Stephanie White and Kelly Crossbar. These two were in the Fever organization when they won the first championship, right? In 2012 with my girl Tamika Catches. My first favorite player in the league, by the way. It's the reason why I've been a Fever fan long before Caitlin even came. And then I was a Elena Deladon fan. Elena Deladon is still one of my favorite players to watch. I like watching her more than Cece. Elena Deladon got it done for me. When she was on the Chicago Sky, I had never seen a woman that long ball like the way she did. That was crazy to see a girl that's 6'5" playing the way she did. That was crazy work. But, yeah. So, Stephanie White has had a really bad start. And I actually made a video. I might still release it. I made a video about Stephanie White being worse than Chrissy Size. And so far, so true right now. She's been worse than Chrissy Size. She's been worse than Chrissy Size. You know what I'm saying? Chrissy Size has been better. And most people that know, because I remember there was this one guy, not just my guy, CFWB guy, who has exposed Stephanie White many times on his videos. Stephanie White is someone, when she's got to really do some real coaching, like coach a younger team, like she got exposed when she went to Vanderbilt, right? She went to Vanderbilt, and you know in college you got to grow your program. She couldn't do it. She couldn't do it. So when she comes back to the WNBA in 2022, to the Connecticut Sun, she's got this veteran team, Alyssa Thomas and all of them are there. She's got this veteran team that is easy to win with. Right? Easy to win with. Even though she didn't win a championship with them, the Connecticut Sun were consistently a top 14, and that was not because of Stephanie White. That was because the players were that damn good. Now, because the Connecticut Sun, as you see, they're starting out 0-4 this season, they're going to a rebuild. Guess who didn't want to be a part of that rebuild? Stephanie White. And she made an excuse to get out of that situation, and she saw that her former organization had this spectacular player that she watched in college doing the commentary games, and Caitlin Clark. She decided to go hitch-tail her wagons over there. And they built this old-ass team up around Caitlin, which they're going to pay for. They built this old-ass team around Caitlin. And they were trying to, 1 year, you know, because of the CBA, the players are going to be free agents next year. But it was like a one year thing. We're going to try to go for a championship this year. So she tried to come in the door and act like she's the person that finally got Caitlin Clark a championship. Her and Kelly Crossboff are clout chasers. They're clout chasers. Kelly Crossboff trying to make her name off of Caitlin too. Amber Cox, who was garbage with the Dallas Wings, trying to make her name off of Caitlin too. These were people that had not won anywhere else before. Because Stephanie White was an assistant coach. She was not the head coach when she was with the Fever in 2012. She was assistant coach. She was not the head honcho. The only winner is Lynn Dunn. Lynn Dunn was the winner. She was the winner. She was the prove-it winner. Now, Lynn Dunn hasn't been the best of GMs in her second run here, but she has drafted well. I gotta say, one thing that Lynn Dunn has done, she has drafted well. She drafted players like Alyssa Smith, Emily Angsler, who's been doing well in Washington, Lexi Hall, Grace Berger, Aaliyah Boston. And she's the one that actually made the call to talk about tanking to go get Caitlin Clark. She's the one. Right? So Indiana Fever wouldn't even have Caitlin Clark if it wasn't for Lynn Dunn trying to go get her the year before. So this team that's been constructed as very old right now. Caitlin came in with a very young team last year. And I agree with CWFB guy. If Caitlin was not on this team, they still would have went to the playoffs last year. They were just a piece away. They had Grace Berger, who was probably going to be the point guard, developed pretty nicely in that first year. They were going to go to the playoffs anyways. Right? But Caitlin Clark is just a better decision business-wise. And she's a generational player. So you can't miss out on Caitlin Clark. Right? You can't miss out on Kahleah Clark. Now, let's get to it. So this old ass team around Caitlin, this became an old team in 1 year. They had a young team, nice nucleus around Caitlin. They just need to make a few moves here and there. There was no reason to have Caitlin Clark be on a championship team this early in her career. She's only 23. It wasn't like, with Kobe, right? Kobe Bryant. I always bring up this example. Kobe Bryant came into a situation when he got traded from Charlotte to the Lakers in his first season. He came to a team that was already veteran, savvy, and stuff like that. And even though he had the potential to become a franchise player like he ended up becoming, he didn't necessarily have to Like, the team didn't get him to take over one day. They looked at him and they were like, he's a good young piece that we could develop and see where it goes. Then they signed Shaq, free agency, and shit like that, right? So they had a team that was getting close to winning the title, right? So Kobe came into a situation where he already had older players around him. Caitlin came into a team that had younger players around her. So there's a reason why Kobe was winning like earlier in his career than a lot of other players do. Same thing with Magic Johnson. Same thing happened with Magic Johnson. When he got drafted, the Lakers, he won the title in his first season. They had an already established old team. He got drafted into a situation like that. Same thing with Larry Bird. They got drafted into those situations. Caitlin Clark came into a team that was young. So why make the team old? Is what I'm saying. The team got old around her, bro. They got a 1-year window. A lot of these players are not going to be back next year. The only 2 or 3 players that's on contract going into next year are Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and Timpson. You're going to have to make sure this whole roster. You got to hope that Lexi and Sophie are coming back and all that other stuff. But I think everybody else going to be gone that's not named. I think everybody else going to be gone. This team got rid of Grace Berger. They got rid of Grace Berger. Who now, because for some reason, they didn't think that injuries can happen to Caitlin Clark one day. They thought she was just going to play all 44 games. Well, I think it's 44 this year, right? Is it 44 this year or is it still 40? I know it's supposed to be 44 at some point. I know they expanded to like 44. I don't know if it's this season or next. I forgot. But either way, you thought Caitlin was going to play every single game playing those kind of minutes without getting a proper backup point guard. You got a clown in Sydney Colson who only gets 2 points per game. Y'all see how awful she is already. The only thing she does good is some of her defense. Some of her defense is good. But Sydney Colson isn't an offensive threat at all. You're going to have to play her a lot now. Now, you can get away with starting with Sophie Cunningham in the starting lineup, playing for Caitlin. That's probably what they're going to do. But you still going to have to play Sydney Colson off the bench. See, you wouldn't have had this damn problem if you just would have kept Grace Berger. You made the decision to sign Sydney Colson. You had that extra roster spot. Grace Berger is making vet minimum. And actually, Grace Berger was still on her rookie deal. Not expensive. Sydney Colson more expensive than she is. You telling me you couldn't have just kept that roster spot for Grace Berger? Because you would have needed her right now. See, again, you thought that Caitlin Clark was going to be healthy the whole damn year when you do not know when injuries going to pop up. Everybody gets hurt. Nobody's immune to an injury. It can happen at any time. Even to the most durable players. If they don't get hurt early in their career, they usually get hurt later in their career. And Caitlin already had this injury. And it just got worse. Where she's now got to sit out a full 2 weeks, maybe more. Then, let's get to the draft. So, you got rid of Grace Berger. Okay, at the time, I was like, it must be because you're planning on drafting a guard then. Because this was a very deep guard draft. So, in the draft, you have something happen to you. Lucy Olsen and Serena Sundell were still available at picks number 19 and 20. Now, obviously, you needed a backup big. So, I knew they were going to go there, and they got Timpson. Timpson was supposed to be drafted in the first round. So, she slipped to you. Great. That was a great pickup. You needed Timpson. But that second pick, You still had Lucy Olsen and Serena Sundell on the board. And you go with Bree Hall? Bree Hall? Yeah. I call this karma. I call this karma what happened to Caitlin Clark. Because you made the wrong moves and it caught up with your ass. They caught up with your ass. And I'm happy because it justifies that shit that happened. You thought you could go into the season playing Caitlin Clark 40 minutes a game like you did last year without needing a backup guard because you thought, okay, Sydney Coates is a clown so she could help us out in the locker room, laugh or whatever. We're not going to hurt because Caitlin Clark is going to play all 40 games in the playoffs. Now reality hit today. And you might just have it. Actually, you were blessed because Grace Berger and Serena Sundell are still on the street. See, I almost wish both girls are on the team right now so you wouldn't even have the options to pick them up. Now you got to be looking at them. Because so far, you missed out on Lucy Olsen. Lucy Olsen has looked pretty good for Washington. The minute she's played, she's looked pretty good. Now, she hasn't always made her shots, but she's looked pretty good with Washington. She's fit in pretty well with that team. She's getting minutes. She got way more minutes than I thought she would at this point of the season. You know, yesterday she hit a 3 in that Phoenix game. I saw it. You could have had Lucy Olsen, but Lucy Olsen's fitting in just fine in Washington. So now you got to make a decision. Grace Berger or Serena Sundell? I don't know which one they should go get. Like, when I made this video, we might have to double up and make another one later in the week. I might end up making another one later in the week. I'm going to make one specific. I wanted to get a lot of the other stuff out of the way when it came to this video, like expose the fans and expose the front office. So in the next one, I think we're going to go way deeper into who to pick up, just in case they haven't picked up either one of them yet. But I'm leaning a little. Now, they're in a win now situation. So I don't know about Serena Sundell just yet because she still got to develop the pro game. But Grace Berger is more ready to play. Right? Between the two. So you might be out there to picking up Grace. Grace is already used to the organization, the city, and all that stuff. But you got a young guard, Serena Sundell, who's super talented, could pass the rock. I think this would be a good landing spot for her while Caitlin's out. You know? She's from Missouri, like Sophie Cunningham, so I'm pretty sure Sophie Cunningham would take on her under her wings, being from Missouri. I think that'd be a pretty good move. The other guards I'm not liking too much, like that's out there. A lot of the good ones got picked up already, like Kahleah and Julie Alleman from the Sparks. Like a lot of the good ones got picked up already. So, you know, off the street. So really right now, yeah, you have to go in this direction. You have to go in this direction. And I like it because they might be forced to get one of them. Let's see what happens. We're going to make another video. But for right now, I think it's a good thing y'all that it happened. Y'all might be like, I'm crazy as hell. But honestly, they're crazy as hell for not keeping Grace Berger and drafting Serena Sundell. Because I knew this day was coming where Caitlin was going to get hurt. And they had no answer behind her for the backup guard position. So in the comment section below, let's talk about it. Who you want between those two guards? And, yeah, how are you feeling about this? Because I know we talked about it in my comment section. And I remember the one guy that made a video on this back in February when he exposed Stephanie White. I wish I knew Buddy's channel name, man, because he made a really good video. He rarely makes videos. He only got like 2 or 3 on his channel. But that video, he exposed the hell out of Stephanie White. And he said Fever fans are going to be asking for Chrissy Sides back, and they already have. And he talked about needing to get it back on guard because he was pissed off about Grace Berger being released too. He was more pissed off than me, and I'm the bigger Grace Berger fan. But he was more pissed off than me. It was hilarious. He was going in on the Fever. But he was just like me. He was holding out for the draft. A lot of good guards. Now, I don't know his channel name, so I couldn't go back and see what his reaction was to the draft. I don't even know if he made a video for it. But I know CFWB guy has spoken out on this already a few times. This needed to happen. And they better watch it because Washington been playing tough. Washington dropped 3 games in a row on the West Coast and all were close games, winnable games for Washington. They were in control of every single game in the fourth quarter. They just didn't know how to close because they're young. You know they're itching to win a game. You know they're itching to win a game. They're back home. They're itching to win this game because they got the Liberty on Friday. So, you know, they don't want to go 2-5 to start the season after a 2-0 start. And then they got the Fever again on next Tuesday. Grace Berger's birthday, by the way. Early happy birthday to Grace Berger. Tuesday, June the 3rd. So you got a situation that's crazy right now. You got the Atlanta Dream again. You know, they've been tough on y'all. It's crazy. It's crazy, but the comment section below, let me know. Go ahead and get this video. Like, share, subscribe. Thank y'all for watching this one. Aces Angels, y'all. Karma is a bitch.